Hey guys, what's up? As per usual, I'm going to start this tutorial by cleansing the face using the Garnier Micellar water, and then I'm just going to start with the brows and we're going to brush the brow hairs up. I do this to mimic the most natural shape of the brows. So I'm going to jump in and use the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Powder in the shade Blonde, and I'm just starting off by defining underneath the brows, and then I go in and fill in the tail of the brow and work my way to the front of the brow. To clean up and define the brows, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, and I also drag this down onto the eyelid to use as an eyeshadow base, and then just blend that out with my beauty blender. Using the Mercier translucent setting powder, I'm just going to dust that over both eyes to set down the concealer, just to ensure our shadows blend nicely on top. Using the shade Sandalwood from the Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette, I'm just taking a big fluffy brush and buffing this into the crease and making sure that I really blend it out, as this is going to be our transition shade and we only use one more eyeshadow on top of this. It's a pretty simple eyeshadow look. The main focus is the liner, so I just keep it really minimal with this eyeshadow and just making sure that I blend out any harsh lines. Using the same palette, we're going to pick up the shade Bay, which is just a really neutral vanilla shade, and I'm using a flat shader brush to pack that on to the mono lid, just making sure that I blend out any harsh lines, just so it kind of like fades into the crease. And then for liner, I'm using my favorite liner, which is the Ingot Gel Liner in 77, and I'm just simply creating a wing. I did forget to mention earlier that I did place some tape on the corners of her eyes after I concealed the eyes before I did the shadow. This is just a super quick and easy way to do a wing without any mess, without having to clean it up, because once you take the tape off, it's just really nice and sharp and clean. And yeah, it's just a simple kind of way to do it. I can do it without the tape. I always do it without the tape, but I haven't used tape in so long that I thought I would do it with the tape, just to save a bit of time. So for lashes, I placed I think these are Modelrock Lashes in the style 212. I just used the Duo Glue and placed them onto the lashes. Okay, let's move on to face. I'm using the NYX Angel Veil primer on as a primer. I'm losing my words a little bit. Yeah, just rubbing that into the skin. And then I'm using the Becca Glow Stick just to add a little bit more of a glow underneath the foundation. We did use a mattifying primer, so I just kind of wanted to add some glow to the highest points on the face, and then I just blended that out just using the same brush as I used to apply the primer. Using the Cover FX Peach Concealer, I just placed that underneath the eye area and blended that out with my beauty blender. This step was totally not necessary, but it was her 21st and we wanted to be as flawless as possible, and there was the slightest bit of discoloration under the eye, but you can skip that step if you want to. Now moving on to foundation, I use the Studio Fix Fluid by MAC in the shade NC37, which is a really nice fake tan color. Also 38 and 40 are really good, just depending on how dark the tan is, but I just used a beauty blender to buff that out into the skin and drag it down the neck as well. I love this foundation for my clients because it's so versatile. You can add things to it, you can sheer it out, you can build it up, you can make it super matte, super glowy. It's just amazing. To highlight the face, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, which was the same concealer we used on the eyelids. I'm just placing that underneath her eye area and down the center of the face, just to bring everything forward and also to conceal them areas as well. And then I'm using the Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Powder just on my Beauty Blender and pushing that into the concealer just so we have a flawless base. And we don't want this to move. Like I said, it was her 21st, so we kind of went a bit extra. I don't usually do this step. It can be a little heavy on the skin, but she had really nice skin, so it was okay. Now to contour and to push all them areas back, I'm using a cream contour that I actually forgot to film, but it was the Chanel Soleil de Tan. It's like the perfect color. Like, I love this. It's just so expensive. I don't think it's like, it is worth it, but it's not. It's like so expensive, but it's so good. And you just go through it so quickly. I then also just got her to take her earrings out because I like to contour the ears as well. I don't know, I just do it for everyone, and I don't know, I just like everything to be nice and seamless, and we don't want any harsh lines. Then using the same Ingot Gel Liner that we used to create the wing, I'm just placing that into her waterline. Taking that same Huda Beauty palette, I'm going to dip into the shade Hannah and buff this underneath her lower waterline from the outer corner to the inner corner. Now using the shade Black Truffle, which is a matte black shade, we are just going to place this onto the lower waterline, smudging it in so we create that really smoky effect. I just be sure to be really neat with this step and really like push it into the lash line so there's no gaps, and just so it looks nice and black and smoky. Then I just go ahead and dust off any excess powder that is left on the skin. For mascara, I'm just using this Maybelline one, and I took a disposable spoolie and just applied that on the top and lower lashes. Now, I'm not too, like, I do kind of only like certain mascaras for my kit, but I'm not too fussy as long as it's super black and matte and pigmented. I don't really like care about the price, whether it is cheap or not, because you're using a disposable spoolie anyway, and we're not using the wand in the mascara. Okay, moving on, we are going to contour the face a little bit more, just over the, what's it called? Cream contour that we used. I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit. It's the medium, I think it was a medium, and I just took the shade Fawn and placed that all over the spots that we used the cream contour, just to kind of set it down and create that shadow. And then just using that same Laura Mercier translucent powder and my beauty blender, I just created a nice sharp line for the contour. And then for blush, we decided to go with something a little bit peachy and glowy, so I used the Becca BFF palette and just placed that on the apples of her cheeks, and then wiped off any excess powder. I don't like it sitting there for too long. And then just using that same gel liner, I went over the lashes so you could not see the band. And then to finish everything off, I used the Fix Plus setting spray by MAC, which is my holy grail. We are not finished actually. No, we're about to do the highlight. Using that same BFF palette by Becca, I'm just placing the highlight in the palette all on the highest points of the face, like the cheekbones, down the center, yada yada yada. You guys can see. Also in the inner corner of the eye and the brow bone. And then we are going to move on to lips. I decided to use Cherry by MAC to line the lips, and this is pretty self-explanatory. You just line the lips. You know, you can overdraw the lips, reshape the lips, but we just went with her natural lip shape. And then using Ruby Woo by MAC, I just placed that onto her lips and blended that in to the liner. And that's pretty much it for this look. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, like it if you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you guys all in my next one. Bye!